There's another resource that fast fashion drains at an alarming rate, one that's essential for life itself: the water footprint. The water footprint of your clothes is massive, and it's easy to overlook. That cotton t-shirt in your drawer required about 700 gallons of water to produce, enough drinking water for one person for nearly 3 years. A single pair of jeans? Around 2,000 gallons. The fashion industry uses about 93 billion cubic meters of water every year, which could meet the needs of 5 million people. These numbers aren't just statistics. They're the result of production choices that prioritize low cost over sustainability. Cotton farming is a major culprit. In the push for cheap cotton, entire rivers have been diverted to irrigate fields. The Aral Sea disaster is one of the most extreme examples. In the 1960s, officials redirected rivers to boost cotton production. 18 years later, the sea had lost half its volume, leaving once thriving towns in a desert wasteland. The exposed seabed, now laced with pesticides, created toxic dust storms that drove up rates of respiratory illness and cancer. All of this happened so that cotton could be grown for the global fashion market. Water use doesn't stop at farming. Textile dyeing and finishing are among the most water-intensive and polluting parts of clothing production. The dyeing process alone is responsible for about 20% of global industrial water pollution. Factories often dump untreated wastewater directly into rivers, coloring the water to match the latest trends. In some regions, rivers run red one day and blue the next, depending on what's being dyed upstream. These chemicals don't just vanish, they contaminate drinking water, harm local agriculture, and poison aquatic life. Making denim is especially water-heavy. Most jeans are made with conventional cotton, which is usually flood irrigated. This method wastes up to 60% of the water before it even reaches the plants. Sustainable methods like drip irrigation can cut water use in half, but most brands stick with the cheapest option. The result: thousands of gallons of water used for a single pair of jeans, while millions of people worldwide still lack access to clean drinking water. The environmental impact continues at home. Washing your clothes releases microfibers and dye residues into local water systems. Synthetic fabrics shed plastic particles, and even cotton can leach pesticide residues. Dyeing and finishing account for about 36% of the total pollution from the fashion industry. Every load of laundry adds to the problem, sending pollutants downstream and into the ocean. Some brands promote water reduction initiatives, but these often amount to reusing the same dirty water several times before dumping it. True water responsibility means cleaning and recycling water throughout the process, not just delaying pollution. There are real solutions out there. Closed-loop dye systems can recycle up to 95% of water and chemicals. Organic cotton uses about 91% less blue water than conventional cotton. Hemp grows with just rainwater in most climates. But most fast fashion companies avoid these changes because they require investment and disrupt the status quo. The fashion industry's thirst for water creates strange and troubling contradictions. Factories in drought-prone countries tap into aquifers to grow cotton for fast fashion, while people in other parts of the world face water restrictions. The industry is now the second largest consumer of water globally, right behind agriculture. Working conditions in dye houses reveal the true cost. Workers stand in toxic sludge without protective gear because safety equipment would cut into profits. Chemicals known to cause birth defects and illness are labeled as trade secrets, so brands don't have to disclose them. Testing of local waterways often reveals concentrations of heavy metals like lead and mercury far above safe limits. There are simple ways to reduce your water footprint. Choosing organic cotton, undyed fabrics, or secondhand clothes can save thousands of gallons per garment. Even small changes, like picking water-conscious brands or buying less, add up. If you switch just half your closet to sustainable options, you could save enough water to fill an Olympic swimming pool over time. But even as people become more aware of sustainability, the pull of fast fashion remains strong. Studies show that while 60% of Gen Z say they care about sustainability, 62% still shop fast fashion every month. The industry's marketing tactics, like only two left, labels and constant new arrivals, create a sense of urgency and scarcity that keeps people buying. And with brands like Shine releasing up to 6,000 new styles per day, it's easy to get caught up in the cycle. All of these pressures set the stage for the next problem: The way fast fashion manipulates trends and consumer behavior, making it harder than ever to break free from the cycle of constant buying. The trend trap. Trend cycles aren't just fast, they're relentless. Fast fashion brands have turned style turnover into a science, releasing new collections at a pace that used to be unthinkable. Companies like Shine add between 2,000 and 10,000 new styles to their app every single day. H&M and other big names pump out as many as 52 microseasons a year. This isn't about responding to what you want. It's about keeping you in a loop where there's always something newer, flashier, and seemingly essential. Brands use psychological tricks to make sure you don't stop to think. Only two left. Banners and countdown timers aren't just marketing. They're calculated moves to make you feel like you'll miss out unless you buy right now. Limited time offers and fake scarcity are designed to push you into impulse purchases. The UK's Competition and Markets Authority has found that these urgency tactics are often misleading, creating a false sense of need that keeps you buying. Social media turns this pressure up even higher. Nearly 70% of fast fashion brands pay influencers to promote their clothes, flooding your feed with curated images and styled videos. Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube are packed with sponsored hauls, must-have lists, and trend alerts that make it feel like you're always behind. Bright visuals, catchy music, and carefully staged shots keep you focused on the excitement of buying, not on the quality or longevity of what you're actually getting. The targeting is precise. Brands focus their campaigns on people aged 18 to 35, knowing this age group is the most responsive to new trends and constant updates. Women are especially targeted, with marketing designed to turn shopping into a social event. Brands know that group shopping leads to more purchases. One study found women buy significantly more when shopping with friends. Fast fashion companies turn this dynamic into a sales strategy, using peer influence to drive more sales. Microtrends now move at breakneck speed. Styles that go viral one week are out the next, replaced by something completely different. This isn't an organic evolution of taste. It's a deliberate strategy to make last month's feel outdated. Brands flood social feeds with new aesthetics, making it hard to keep up and tempting you to keep buying just to stay in the loop. The constant churn means your closet can feel out of date almost overnight. Brands make minor tweaks to designs, changing a sleeve here, a neckline there, so you feel like you need the latest version, even if it's nearly identical to what you already own. Subtle differences are presented as major updates, encouraging you to buy again and again. Fear of missing out drives much of this behavior. Limited edition drops and flash sales are rarely as exclusive as they seem, but the sense of urgency is real. Brands have admitted to using fake low-stock notifications to boost sales, and comment sections are often filled with bots hyping up the demand. The illusion of scarcity makes you more likely to buy on impulse, even if you didn't set out to shop. Discounts are another tool. Brands inflate original prices just to mark them down, making you feel like you're getting a deal when you're actually paying what they intended all along. Flashy sale tags and strategic lighting in stores make items look more appealing, but many shoppers find that what they buy looks and feels different once they get it home. Return policies are designed to encourage overordering. Free returns sound convenient, but the reality is that most shoppers end up keeping more than they planned just to avoid the hassle of sending things back. This turns browsing into buying, even when you're not sure you want the items. With trends moving so quickly, quality becomes an afterthought. Fabrics are chosen for how they look in photos, not for how they hold up in real life. Short staple fibers lead to pilling, and single-stitched seams fail after just a few wears. Durability isn't the goal, constant replacement is. All of this takes a toll. The pressure to keep up creates decision fatigue, with shoppers spending hours browsing and feeling anxious about missing the next big thing. It's not just about clothes anymore. It's about staying relevant in a system designed to keep you consuming. And just when you start to question the pace, brands offer reassurance with eco-friendly tags and green labels. But are those claims really as trustworthy as they seem? The greenwashing game. Brands have turned greenwashing into an art form, using eco-friendly buzzwords and clever marketing to make you feel good about your choices, even when the reality is far less sustainable. Greenwashing is when companies use vague or misleading claims to appear environmentally responsible, while their core business practices stay the same. It's everywhere in fast fashion, and it's designed to keep you shopping without questioning what's really behind those green labels. Take H&M's Conscious Collection. On the surface, it sounds like a step in the right direction. At least 50% of the materials are labeled as sustainable, and the brand promises to use only recycled or sustainably sourced materials by 2030. But zoom out, and the numbers tell a different story. This collection makes up a tiny fraction of H&M's total offering, while the company still churns out billions of garments every year. There's little transparency about the rest of their inventory or about their actual carbon emissions. You'll hear plenty about organic cotton, but not about the vast quantities of petroleum-based polyester that make up the bulk of their clothes. Zara uses similar tactics. Their Join Life collection is promoted as a sustainable choice, and they've pledged to run their internal operations on 100% renewable energy by 2030. But Zara's parent company, Inditex, still produces nearly 1.5 billion pieces of clothing annually. While the brand highlights its use of better materials, it's silent on the supply chain and doesn't release detailed factory lists or audit results. The big picture, the massive scale, and the unchanged business model gets left out. Uniqlo, another major player, sets climate targets and talks about reducing emissions in their supply chain. But when it comes to sharing progress or aligning with international climate standards, the details are missing. Their goals aren't scientifically reviewed, and there's no clear way to see if they're on track. It's all promises with little follow-through. Even athletic brands like Nike have jumped on the green marketing train. Their Move to Zero campaign was rolled out during Climate Week to showcase their commitment to zero carbon and zero waste. But critics point out that the campaign mostly rebrands old goals instead of setting new, measurable targets. Nike's own sustainability officer admitted that some of their goals, like reducing water use, are proving harder to reach than they expected. Allbirds, a company known for its sustainable wool sneakers, has also faced scrutiny. Their marketing focuses on low carbon footprints and happy sheep, but their calculations skip over the full environmental impact of wool production, like water use and land occupation. Groups like PETA have called them out for glossing over these issues and for making claims that are hard for shoppers to verify. The playbook is simple. Highlight a single improvement, like recycled packaging or a limited eco-friendly line, while ignoring the bigger problems. Use broad terms like natural, green, or eco-conscious without clear definitions or third-party verification. Roll out capsule collections that make up a tiny portion of total sales and set ambitious-sounding targets years into the future, with no checkpoints along the way. The result is a feel-good image that doesn't match the reality. Marketing teams know how to use imagery and language to influence your perception. Earth tones, leaf icons, and minimalist packaging make products seem more sustainable, even when the changes are only skin-deep. Brands might switch to recycled mailers, but still ship thousands of polyester garments worldwide, or plant a tree for each order while ignoring the pollution from textile dyeing, which produces 20% of global industrial water pollution. Certifications can be just as misleading. Many are created in-house or lack third-party oversight, and even well-known certifications sometimes hide more than they reveal. For example, organic cotton may use fewer pesticides, but it can require up to 2,700 liters of water for a single t-shirt and 2,000 gallons for a pair of jeans. The industry's total water use is staggering, about 93 billion cubic meters every year. Greenwashing works because it offers an easy answer to a complex problem. It lets you believe you're making a difference without having to change your habits or question the system. But real sustainability demands more than buzzwords in marketing. It requires transparency, accountability, and a willingness to rethink how much and how often we buy. As you start to question the claims on those tags, it's worth looking closer at the clothes themselves. The quality illusion. Let's talk about what's actually happening with the clothes you buy. The quality illusion is one of fast fashion's most effective tricks. Brands make their clothes look fresh and trendy, but underneath, they're designed to fall apart quickly. This isn't just bad luck or a one-off manufacturing mistake. It's a business model built on planned obsolescence. The first place this shows up is in the fabric. Most fast fashion items are made with blends that contain very little natural fiber, sometimes less than 40% cotton, with the rest made up of synthetic materials like polyester, nylon, or acrylic. These synthetic fibers are cheap to produce, but they don't hold up. Polyester, for example, is notorious for pilling after just a few washes. Those little balls of fuzz are a clear sign that the short synthetic fibers are breaking down. The more synthetic the blend, the faster the garment starts to look old and worn, and the sooner it ends up in the trash.